Good afternoon. My name is Tony Spielberg, and I'm applying for the role of Executive Vice President with Geniecast. I look forward to this opportunity to present to you a little bit about my background, what I'm currently doing now, and just some personal things that drive me to succeed and how I've gotten to where I am in my career. So with that being said, my most current role is as Chief Business Development Officer with a company called SensorTrax. SensorTrax was founded about 5 years ago here in St. Louis, and I was hired to raise some capital, make some key introductions in manufacturing, and position the company to sell. I was given a 2-year runway to do that. I joined the company early March, and actually we are positioned to sell now towards the end of October. Hence why I am now submitting this video to you guys at Geniecast. Prior to this role, I actually had a dream job. Absolutely loved it. I was the CEO of Boone Center, BCI Packaging, where we employed about 400 adults with developmental disabilities in a manufacturing setting. Worked with several Fortune 500 companies as my top clients. Came in, was actually hired to come in and do a turnaround for a company that had actually been in business since 1959. Was able to come in the first year get things turned around to where we were in the black, just about breaking even after the first year. And by 3.5 years in, we had grown our revenue by over $11 million and went from 180 adults with disabilities to close to 415 at the very most when I was there. Also had 100 other fully abled employees, but that's not my favorite part. My favorite part, and I see myself starting to smile in this video, we were able to open a first of its kind vocational training center for adults with disabilities. So if you're an adult with an intellectual disability, you've been told your whole life by most people that you can't do things, that you'll never succeed. And what I said after being around folks with disabilities was that that's a myth. There's no way. These folks have more abilities and more cognitive reasoning sometimes than we do as fully able adults. And what I did was went out and partnered with folks that I knew at True Manufacturing, Salesforce, Midas Hospitality Group, and so many others who were really excited to venture out into employment of adults with disabilities, which, again, sort of the forgotten community, and one that I'm very proud to say that while I was there, we created 55 new jobs actually in community employment. And there are now about, I think, 60 to 70 people going through the vocational training school per year. So a great legacy to leave behind. I had submitted my resignation there in January. It was just time to go. Like every other adventure, when there's a time to start and a time to end, and all good things must come to an end, and that's just what happened there. And candidly, I was ready not to report to a board for just for a while. So non-for-profit was great. That's what BCI was. And prior to that, had some really cool jobs. Had my own company called Red Label Accessories. Was kind of obsessed with baseball growing up and knew a few of the players and created Red Label. Red Label is the patch, right? The Rawlings patch. Everybody knows it. If you grew up and you played baseball or softball, you knew the patch. What I said was, hey, let's get Rawlings a little bit uncomfortable. Let's cross over the foul lines of the baseball field into the stands and compete with the Under Armours and Nikes and Adidas and you name it. Because if you think about it, all those brands have been around for a long time, but they've also been discounted and beaten to death, on sale everywhere. And what I thought about Rawlings was that if we can take baseball glove leather and we can show that red patch, that there will be an emotional attachment between the brand, which has been around for over 150 years, and the user of that brand. Essentially, every time you reach into your back pocket and you grab your wallet out, you feel like you're in that second grade championship game and you made that great catch to make the final out. And you get that every time you touch the Rawlings leather. So that was a great opportunity. Actually, something fun about that opportunity is when we would be at the Gold Glove Awards, I would make bags for people like Dan Aykroyd, Jerry Seinfeld, Kevin James. My favorite person that I'd ever met was Hank Aaron. Just really meaningful. And when you think about baseball and you think about all the diversity and things that were tough in that game, talking to Hank Aaron was really sort of one of those things that changed my life, in that you just don't give up. And though I've always preached that, some of the stories and some of the things that I was able to talk to him about were truly inspirational and really set me forth on a new journey, which got me to be a little bit more servant-hearted, which is why I believe I ended up at Boone Center BCI. But enough about the Rawlings. I can tell you more about that stuff later and all the cool stuff and people I got to meet. Prior to that, I actually started a watch company called Reactor. I wear it every day. I love the brand. We really took that company from $0 to $43 million over 6 years, created a totally different type of sales force there. Really went after, even though we were selling major department stores, went after the independent jewelers, which at the time there was over 8,000 of them. And we went in and really taught each jeweler the DNA of our product and why we were the best built sport watch period, and created a sales trajectory that was simply unheard of in the jewelry store business, because people come in and they take so much time to decide to buy something. With Reactor, it was not only an impulse purchase with an average price point of $500, it had a great warranty, and the people behind the counters knew everything about our company and the DNA and the why the customer should want to wear one. Really the best built sport watch period, and I still stand behind it, but had a successful exit there as well. Prior to that, had some great gigs, worked with Mikasa, which is the crystal company, launched the Vera Wang brand for Waterford Wedgwood, and was in ladies' handbags for years before that. Lived in New York City. Was a cool place, but I'm more of a St. Louis guy, born and raised here, by the way, and have a great wife, 3 beautiful boys, and very involved in the community. Some of the things that I have done over the past few years is involvement and advocacy for adults with disabilities at the federal level, National Association of Manufacturers, Missouri Association of Manufacturers, quite a bit of involvement with Operation Food Search and feeding hungry kids. That is a passion of mine. And really, in general, being servant-hearted has become a mantra of mine that I believe really fits well into a culture like one at Geniecast. What I can do with you guys and for you guys is really bring a whole different perspective. Leadership has been part of my role for the last almost 18 years, building sales forces, building marketing teams, building marketing campaigns around things like Man Up and different opportunities. But at the end of the day, what I really bring is that ability to be strategic when needed, be able to filter out plans, build relationships, hire teams, execute on vision is what I am best at and really most effective at. So if there's a great strategic plan, I am that guy that carries that out. I'm also that guy that you can knock on the head and say, hey, what would you do in this situation? Because I have sat in the big chair before. I'm just not at that point in my career anymore. I would like to be part of a team that is focused on growth, but also focused on building leaders. I don't want to go somewhere that it's stagnant and not a lot of fun. And really one of the things and reasons I'm applying for this role is the culture. To be part of that Jedi executive team. I thought that was kind of cool. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but I do love it. And I just felt like, man, what a cool fit this could be with my background. So with that being said, I know I've talked a lot. I am fortunate to be able to submit this, and I'm appreciative of any opportunities. Please feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn, via email, via phone, which I believe your HR team has. And I look forward to next steps. Thank you again, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.